Hey y'all, welcome to RealLeeATL. Listen, I had to get on here real quick and just tell y'all what happened last night at Easter, okay? I was at an Easter gathering last night, y'all, and something crazy happened. And when I say something crazy, I mean something crazy. Now, you know, when you're out, hanging out a little bit with folks, I was at my friend's house last night and she had an Easter gathering. It was all family and friends, and we were doing our little drinking or whatever. There was a gentleman there, an older guy, okay? Just let me say this, what really happened. An older guy literally passed out last night on a stool. He was sitting on a bar stool and he was up there having a good time. Next thing you know, he had fell over and passed all the way out. Like, when I say incoherent, I mean totally incoherent. So this is where it gets wild though. Like, that's not even the crazy part. My friend's husband, shout out to Kiyta and Mark, her husband was there and a couple other guys were there trying to bring the guy back to life. Not really bring it back to life. Like, it's funny now, but it wasn't funny then. It was way more serious last night. It totally stopped everybody in their tracks. No one knew what happened. Everybody was like, what in the hell is going on? Why is this guy passed out? And he's an older gentleman, so we don't know if he hit his head when he fell, but he fell off like a 3-inch stool. So I don't mean to be dramatic or whatever, but several people there thought this might be it. You know, we were like, we need to call the ambulance or whatever. So my friend's cousin, and shout out to her, Tan, she went in the house. Like I said, it's funny now, but she went in the house to get Kiyta, my friend. And because she's the lady of the house and she needs to know what's going on, obviously, right? So Kiyta comes out the house. She looks at the guy. He's like this, like he's literally head down, okay? I'm not kidding y'all. On everything I love, this man's head was dropped. He seemed totally incoherent, unconscious, or whatever the case may be. So he wasn't talking to anybody. He was still breathing though. He was breathing, but he wasn't talking, okay? His eyes wasn't open and he wasn't talking. So she ran back in the house and she got this bag, and she is, let me just say this, preface this with, she is a sales rep for the Super Patch Company, okay? And I'm gonna talk about this in just a second, but she's a sales rep for the Super Patch Company. So she started putting these patches on this man. He's sitting in the chair. She started putting patches on him. Now, mind you, he's like this, okay? He's not up. He's not up at all. So she starts to place these patches on his body because his wife was like, don't call the ambulance yet. He'll be fine. We just need to see what's wrong with him. So to her, it was her, the one that said, you know, he's fine. His wife is there. She was just basically, we don't know what's going on with him, but she said, give it a minute because he was breathing or whatever. But my friend put the patches on this man and instantly his eyes woke up. I mean, his eyes opened. His eyes opened and he started talking. He's like, why are y'all standing around me? What's going on? He didn't know what had happened, but he woke up, okay? That's the bottom doggone line. I'm a skeptical of things, right? I don't believe everything that I see. I definitely don't believe in medicine and all of that type of stuff where you have to take something all the time, every day. I'm not that type of person, okay? Don't judge me. But I'm not saying I wasn't a believer of the Super Patch. My friend had been trying to talk to me about it for a couple of months, and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna look it up. Let me research it. She didn't shove it down my throat, but she was just basically saying how it has helped people and giving testimonies of how it helped people. Y'all, when I say if I had not seen this with my own eyes last night, I would still be a skeptic, right? So I see it last night. I'm saying this is something that's out of just, it's crazy because I'd never seen anything like it. Nobody has. Everybody was just there and we were all like in shock. Even this one guy, it was just like Ripley's Believe It or Not. It was so unbelievable to him. So long story short, we see him get up. They take the older gentleman home because he lives like, not far or whatever. So they take him home and then they come back and we're all just kind of sitting around talking about it. And while we're sitting around talking about it, I told my friend, I said, I need to talk to you more about these patches. Like, I'm intrigued now. Like, it's crazy to me and I want to see what's going on with them. What's in them? She's like, ain't nothing in them. So I'm like, what's in them? Something got to be in them. So I didn't want to take no patch that night, all right? Because I had been drinking and I wanted to give her a true testimony of you know, how I felt. So the very next morning, because I ended up staying over there. So the very next morning, I'm telling her, okay, I gotta come home. I got stuff to do in my house or whatever. I wanna, do you have anything for like energy? I want some energy. I'm used to taking like a B12 shot, give a jolt of energy. I take a B12 tablet like every day. So I just needed some energy because I had been driving Uber all weekend long. I had just been working, back from vacation, still fiddle-faddling around the house, just on the go, still out, you know? So I needed some energy. And so she said, yeah, I'm gonna give you this boost patch. Okay, so the boost patch is supposed to give you energy, obviously boost and energy. So needless to say, here is my boost patch, okay? And as soon as she put it on me this morning, okay, I started feeling like a little tingling sensation. I don't know if I would describe it as a tingling, but you know how you have, mentholatum, you know how mentholatum makes you feel, that effect of mentholatum? It felt like that through my body just real quick. She did a stability test on me. Let me go back a little bit. She did a stability test where I failed the first one and I passed the second one. But I failed the first one because I didn't have the patch on. She was like, girl, you ain't stable at all. And I'm like, right, your balance is off. That's what she was basically saying. And I feel that, you know, because sometimes, you know, the older I get in terms of my menopause, yeah, my balance is off, but I don't want to mess around and fall. So anyway, she did the stability test. I didn't pass the first time. Then I put the patch on and then I passed the second time. So I'm back stable again, if you will. And then she said, well, I want to give you something for defend. And it's supposed to give you something for your immune system and your blood flow. And I said, well, I don't want to be having on a bunch of patches. I don't need to be doing all that. I don't want to be into it like that. I just don't want to wear a whole bunch of patches. So she put them in my sample pack, right? So I let her put on me a blood flow one, right? A defend one. And this is the blue one. And so immediately, now I didn't tell her this, but I have been having a hip pain, like a little pain in my hip a little bit, because I drive Uber, I sit down all day, I still go to the gym and do some walking, you know, I'm just up and down my stairs, and I was just feeling a little tinge in my hip, and I'm thinking it's probably because I was on a long flight, I don't know, but it has just been bothering me. Soon as I got the blue one, my hip wasn't hurting. My hip stopped hurting, and I told her, I wasn't gonna tell you this, but my hip is not hurting anymore. I bullshit y'all not. I don't mean to say bullshit, but my hip is not hurting, right? So I'm still believing that, you know, oh my gosh, what else can these patches do? So the last one, she was just like, well, I'm gonna give you a Liberty one because that balances your inflammation. And I was like, well, I, again, don't want all these patches, but she gave it to me. So I'm finna put it on. This green one is the Liberty patch. I'm gonna put it on right now. I don't know what it's supposed to do or what it's not supposed to do, but it can't hurt because I am feeling a sensation from all the rest of them. So the key is you've got to put the patches on clean, dry skin. I'm gonna put it on this arm, y'all. And you wear it until it falls off. You know, I got a 5-day supply. So she gave me like a little sample, a sample patch. And here's the name of the company, Super Patch Company. And like I said, she's a sales representative, so she sells these. And if you want to know more about them, you're gonna have to go to her page on Facebook. It's Kiyta, Kiyta Banks, and she's on Facebook, Kiyta Banks. I gotta ask her where she wants me to send the people if you guys were to come ask me for any of this information. And I'm sorry I don't have it right now. But so what she did was she made me a little cheat sheet of what these patches are and, you know, what they do. So I got me a 5-day supply. So I figure you wear them a couple days, you know, it falls off and then you get another one, you know, because probably in the shower or something, it may come off or it may or not come off. I don't know. But right now I have on 3 patches. And the first one, like I said, that's the lime green one. This one is going to be for boosting your energy. Okay, this one's called the Boost Patch. It's lime green. And then you have the Defend Patch, which is the blue, and it's for immunity and your blood flow. So this is the one that she put on me that I told you, you know, my hip is no longer hurting. And it probably because it was just like the blood needed to flow in that. I don't know. I have no idea. And then you have the Liberty Patch, which is, this one is for the balance. There, that's the green one. That's for the balance and inflammation. And that's the one that I just put on, okay? I put that one on because now I have on my 3 patches. But I will say this, y'all. So, you know, now I am a firm believer in the super patch. I just needed proof. You know what I'm saying? I saw it with my own eyes last night, and then I felt it for myself the next morning. You know, I got my own. So, you know, if you're looking for a little boost, you might want to check these patches out, y'all. I'm telling you, it's like the real deal, for real, for real. And I always do my research. So what I did was, and I'm scrolling here because I'm trying to find what I had found. But basically, you've got your Super Patch Boost, you got your Super Patch Boost patch, Super Patch Focus patch, Super Patch Liberty, Super Patch Ignite patch, and others from the Super Patch company. I didn't have all of them, but they're all wearable patches. And what I mean by that is, it says these patches use something called Vibro-Tactile technology. All right, I'm gonna put the word up there. Vibro-Tactile technology. It's a pattern built into the patch that the company basically says it stimulates your skin sensory system to send signals through your nervous system. So basically, it's a patch with the skin sensory signals on there that sends signals to your nervous system. Try saying that 5 times. That's a lot. They're drug-free. Okay, they market these as drug-free, all-natural, non-invasive patches, meaning that there's no medication or there's no chemicals or pills involved, which I love. And so they're intended for different patches. They're just marketed for different people, like your energy and focus. That's the one that the boost. You boost your alertness and your mental clarity. You have your mobility and balance that improves how you move or feel. That's the stability. You have your well-being and mood, which is to support the sense of your wellness or your positivity, which that is the immunity one. And then you have an athletic one, even for you athletes out here, who's going to help with your endurance and your performance. So basically, this is based on the company's claims. Okay, so basically they market themselves as a wellness tech and not a medical treatment for disease. This is a wellness tech company, not a medical treatment for disease. So I needed y'all to know that. And basically, if you want, I can help you get in touch with my friend for these patches. Okay, but it's here. The overall deal is, y'all, with the super patches, little patches that you stick on your skin, and it's supposed to, the patches use a special pattern called the, let me read that word again, Vibro-Tactile technology, that sends signals through your nervous system, basically, okay? And it helps with things like energy, mood, sleep, just all kinds of things. So, I've got to admit, like I said, I was a skeptic, right? But after seeing it, you know, with my own eyes, seeing my friends use it, and then also, you know, using it myself, I can definitely testify. You know, this is like a sweet little quick testimony to let you guys know that it does work. It's working for me. To each his own. You definitely have to see for yourself, which is what I did. It took me some time, but I think that I was there for a reason to see that, because where I was wanting to get involved in it, I wasn't sold on it. Okay, and that's just the naked truth. I just wasn't sold on it, because I feel like things have things in them, because you can't just put on a patch and say there's nothing in it and, you know, you're miraculously feeling better, right? But now I understand how the skin cells and the nervous systems are tied together to help with your internal body. I'm definitely a believer of it, and I'm wearing it, okay? So I've got my 5-day supply, honey, and I'm gonna keep putting mine on. I feel like I know a little bit about it now. I feel like I know more than what I was researching before, because you have to see it to believe it. And there are testimonies from people who, my friend has videos on her Facebook where she's done stability tests, and people have done testimonies on, you know, how it works for them. So I just want to say shout out to Kiyta for the super patch, Kiyta Banks for the super patch. Your girl will be wearing it. I am a firm believer of it now. And I hope that, you know, know, this is gonna draw some additional people your way. You guys, if you have any questions about this, please let me know. I will definitely put you in contact with her, okay? I'm patched up, in the words of Nakia. I'm patched up, I'm patched up. Thank you, Kiyta. Bye. Mwah.